Hey, good afternoon, class. Just wanted to touch base really quick, let you know that the discussion board 1 has been graded, and so it is there for you to see. Did want to cover a couple things that I think will be helpful as we move forward in the semester and the term. First thing would be, listen, make sure that when you are doing the original threads, your original post, as well as doing the replies, that you cite your sources in a footnote. That will mean that you'll need to go to the online style manual and see the proper citations for footnotes. That's very, very important. I'm not looking for bibliography references in these discussion boards. You need to cite your sources through footnotes, but you have to make sure you use the proper form. So go to the style manual, especially as it relates to the divinity school, and you'll be able to see good examples of all the forms, and so just follow those. Next thing that's important is that make sure that when you're doing your original threads, that you answer each part of the question and do so as thoroughly as possible. Don't feel like you're constrained by the word requirement count. Now, that is obviously a good general rule. However, if you go over, it's going to be okay. I mean, I don't want to see you write a book, but at the same time, if you go 600, 700, 800 words, that's going to be all right. So what you want to do is just really learn the skill of putting all of that information, all the pertinent information that relates to the question, into a very succinct post. And of course, citing your sources. That's part of the excitement and the challenge of learning this stuff. So make sure you do that. That's very, very important. Also, please make sure that when you reply to 2 different students, but you also reply to 2 different questions. That's just kind of make that your rule, so that you can be more engaged with not only different questions but also different students. One of the things I think is important, I know sometimes you're racing against the clock to get something turned in, especially with the discussion board, but it would be well worth your time to go ahead and proofread not only your threads but also your replies. That will help kind of clean out and really just any type of misspellings, bad grammar, just little mistakes like that can really make the difference between getting a good grade and getting a great grade. So make sure that you do some proofreading so you can clean out and clean up some of the grammatical issues that we really kind of found this week. So that's something that is very, very important. Another thing that I'd like to see you guys do is when we're talking about replying, I know typically when we use the word critical, we think of that as being negative and pejorative. However, being critical in terms of critical thinking is not being negative. What we want to do is evaluate our fellow students' posts based upon the readings or other scholarly sources that we have, and see, is their position right or valid, or have they considered this position and line it out? Or, again, the key is we want to make a contribution to not only your own learning but to the original student's post. We want to make a contribution to their learning. So really, it's important to realize that when we're being critical in our thinking, it doesn't mean we're being negative or being mean-spirited. Of course, we don't want to be mean-spirited at all. We want to do so in light of the fact that we're brothers and sisters in Christ. So we want to provide the insights that can help the students learn how to do better and to learn more about the particular question or issue at hand. So make sure you remember that as you walk through the next few weeks. Also, it is really important, and I know this seems so elementary, but you have to really read the directions for all the assignments, and to do so thoroughly. That can be so helpful. A lot of times students, they just fail to read the directions thoroughly and properly, and therefore they miss something. And I can't help I can't help if a student, I can't help a student if they don't answer the questions or they don't read the directions thoroughly. That's just part of being in master's level work, that we do our best and we work hard at just following clear, simple directions. So please make sure you do that. Making sure that, listen, everybody needs to read. Again, I know I've said this several times, but this is very important because I'm not in a position to change the policy. You need to read the late assignment policy, especially as it relates to the discussion boards. But also, it's clearly marked in the assignments for the discussion board that all the assignments are due Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you make the adjustment for that. Looking at the upcoming week, oh yeah, we've got a test or an exam or a quiz, whatever you want to call it, but these tend to be very challenging for many of the students. Of course, they are timed, they are open book, and so my suggestion would be is that you read through all the material and highlight what is pertinent or significant, and go back through and just reread your highlighted material. And then when you get to the exam itself, answer all the questions that you know for sure. Then go back and, if you read over the book several different times, even if you don't know the answer to a question, you might be so familiar with the book that you'll be able to find where it is very quickly. So that's just my own advice. A lot of students do really well. Some students don't. It's just a matter of you got to carve out a lot of time to study for the exam. So please make sure you do that this week. As far as the discussion board this week, there will only be 3 questions. You have to choose 2 of them. So make sure you do so. And again, just answer each part of that question very thoroughly. Put in all the specifics of the question. That's important. Making sure that if there's a list of 3 things, define them a little bit. Help me know that you know what we're talking about, what that question is asking. So, but all in all, I think that for the first week, the discussion board grades were pretty good. The main thing is just keep working hard, keep improving, keep trying to do your best work. But I know that this seems crazy right now, but this term is going to fly by. It's going to be over at a blink of an eye. So even now, I would start doing some research for the paper. I know that seems so far out, but in just a few weeks it's going to be due, and you don't want to be scrambling. So make sure get those 5, 6, 7, 8 sources out of the way. Get those so that you know what they are, and whatever your special topic is going to be for the paper, make sure you get 2 or 3 sources that deal specifically with that, because that really helps provide a lot of depth to the paper, a lot of depth to that particular issue, person, ideology, whatever the case might be. But just make sure you read over the directions for the Second Temple period paper. Alright, well guys, listen, if you have any questions, shoot me an email. I'm always here to help. I'm going to do whatever I can to help you guys. So work hard, and I hope you guys have a great week.